Why y'all there? Lord have mercy, what a blessing. I'm Dan. I want to welcome everyone to my home in the sticks. Wherever you at in the world, I hope you're having a great weekend and everything is good with you. Before we get started on today's video, I always like to say that if you are new to this channel, I want to welcome you. And if you returning just to see what old Dan's got going on over her, I sure enough thank you for coming back. But what I want to share with you and y'all today is, Lord of mercy, I'm going to show you 2 do-it-yourself trellises that you can use in your garden if you have some stuff that you want to grow up or maybe elevated and horizontal. So let's go. I'm here to tell you it is sure enough hot as a box of rocks over here in East Central Mississippi. I mean, it's sure enough hot. This first trellis that I'm going to show you is what I have my cucumbers growing on. So this is going to be like a dual purpose video. I'm going to show you the trellises that I'm going to use this season, as well as some planters that I'm using to grow in this year. So let's start with the cucumbers. What you're looking at right here are my Oriental Express cucumbers. I have quite a few of them, and I have harvested quite a bunch of these cucumbers that I have growing in my Vigo garden self-watering planter. And this trellis is 3 foot tall, and these cucumber vines have made it out of the 3 foot, so I added on a horizontal trellis. And all this is a piece of cattle panel. These are 2x4 holes. This was just an extra piece of cattle panel I had laying around doing nothing. I took some T-post and I made basically a square or a large rectangle, or whatever you want to call it. But I drove 4 of these in the ground, and all I did was I took the cattle panel, sat it on top of one of these notches right here, pushed it down, and put some zip ties on there just to hold it in place. These cucumber vines are starting to get their grow on. Hopefully they're going to grow all the way down. And this is, I think, maybe a 10-foot section of cattle panel that I had. But anyways, those vines are going to make it all the way down. They're going to make fruit either on top, and with a little bit of luck, when the vines make it this way, hopefully they'll drop down those cucumbers like this, and I can just walk underneath this trellis and harvest them. So this is what I'm using to trellis my cucumbers this season. Very quick, very easy, extremely inexpensive, especially if you have a piece of cattle panel laying around and maybe some T-posts laying around. You don't have to use cattle panel if you have anything that is semi-rigid and wide. You could use that. But this is just a real easy way to get those vines to grow up and horizontally. The next trellis system that I built, and this is semi put together, but this is my cantaloupe that I have growing in just an old container. And I'm using another piece of cattle panel that I have here. And I'm gonna get these vines, these cantaloupes, to run down, and then hopefully that way. Now, the reason why I'm doing it this way, this is really an experiment, because I've grown cantaloupe over here on the farm in the past and in the ground. And I've noticed that a lot of times the bottom of the cantaloupe would rot because it was sitting on the ground. So I'm experimenting with this method just to see if I can grow them on this trellis and grow them off of the ground. So we're going to see how that works. So this is just another way that I'm using a trellis system to get stuff to grow. Cantaloupes. And the last trellis system that I'm going to show you and y'all is for my pole beans that I have growing in an 8-foot raised bed. Pole beans finally busted the ground, and they are starting to latch on to this trellis system right here. And all this is some green rope that has been tied to make 4x4 squares. And I bought this online relatively cheap. I think it was about $4 or $5. This trellis is 9 foot long by 6 foot. So 9 foot long and 6 foot this way. So this is a really cheap and effective way to get some stuff trellised. And I sank 2 T-posts, and I attached one in here, the other end down there. And hopefully you can see this. And what I did was I rolled up the trellis, because these are like 5-foot T-posts. So I rolled it up real neatly, zip tied it, and I use these tent stakes just to hold it down into the ground and keep this netting tight or taut. So this is a real quick and easy way to trellis pole beans, if you have pole beans that you want to grow in a raised bed. I do know that pole beans do grow well in a raised bed, and I have used a piece of cattle panel in the past, but I want to try this netting and see how it does. And so far I think it's going to work. Well, all right, that's what I wanted to share with you and y'all today. Lord of mercy, a quick and easy way to trellis up some things over here on the farm for me. I had a bunch of extra cattle panel and some T-posts laying around, and I'm going to try using the netting, 4x4 netting on my pole beans this year. I think it's going to work out really good, and I'm growing my cucumbers horizontally, elevated horizontally, using a piece of cattle panel to work as a trellis. And on my cantaloupes, I'm going to try to grow those horizontally and elevated as well. I'll bring y'all along. I'm kind of anxious to see how the cantaloupe are going to grow. I know the cucumbers and the pole beans will grow quite well on the trellises that I have set up, so we'll just have to see. So again, I hope everybody is having a show enough good weekend, and I hope you're staying safe amid this crisis that's still going on. If you like this video, go and give it a thumbs up to help. If you haven't subscribed to the Home of Six channel, Lord of mercy, y'all need to come over here and give it a damn look, because I'm always doing stuff, like doing some homemade do-it-yourself trellises to grow stuff. With that being said, you know it's coming down. Referee show enough, always gonna say it. Don't let nobody dull your shine. And I mean nobody, you sure enough get your shine on, put your hands in the dirt and grow something. It's important. And Dan will see you and y'all in the next video.